Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Deplorables with Attitude. I'm your host, Ben. Good to see you. Good to see you again. I'm doing a lot of those audio ones. My apologies. I've been a prolonged guest here in Davos, Switzerland at the Illuminati headquarters. Shh, just kidding. They're very nice. They're very nice people. They have a good bedside manner. Very delicate. Very soft hands. Yeah. And in the mornings, the bathroom, the tiles, the whole bathroom, the floor is just, it's heated. I mean, morning poo, when you heated floors and the underlighting of the cabinetry, oh, it's perfect. You could be in there for hours. It's really nice. These people are good people. I can't tell you who they are. But they have acquired the remnants of Trump's safe. And sorry to say, January 6th truthers, it's just toupees and cab receipts. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah. 9/11 still number one. 9/11 still better than January 6th, unfortunately. I apologize. I know that's hard. Take a second. Yeah, I know. It's rough. Speaking of 9/11, I'm learning Arabic for business purposes so I can make money off trillionaires and deals. And they're trillionaires over there, not trillionaires. And also in case I'm ever in a plane that's hijacked, they don't know that I'm there because they wouldn't hijack a plane that I'm on. But if you people maybe, I can talk to them. I'm like, inshallah, and they'll bow down to me. And then maybe after the flight, I get kebabs for the rest of my life from like the Saudi Arab Emirates or something as like a thank you. But really, they funded the hijacking. They're just doing that to save face publicly. It's very awkward. A lot of complicated moves there. It's like, who founded who's against what, but yet you paid them. You founded their whole thing, and you paid for the bombs. But you don't like them. You say that. It's confusing. It's very confusing. I feel like I'm whispering. I haven't been in front of camera for a while. Yeah, it's weird. Speaking of that thing that I had like earlier in the year, I told you I had serotonin syndrome. And it's interesting. For 4 months, from like March till June, basically when I stopped filming, I was fine, perfectly fine. And then just the other day, I took something, which is an endogenous testosterone booster called gonadine. It uses Naragen and apigenin, which are just stuff found in like orange juice, but like a high concentration. And allegedly, this lowers estrogen, allows free tests to go up, but also, side effect, by lowering the estrogen, your serotonin goes down. So your serotonin gets crushed. So after the 4 months, I was fine, but I was taking Adderall sometimes. I was drinking lots of coffee. I felt a little weird. And then I took a couple weeks off, and then I felt better, and then I decided to take this thing, and then I felt really sad all of a sudden for no reason, like the same day, 3 days after I took it. So 3 days in a row, the same dose. So that freaked me out. It's not an excuse for me not doing videos, but where I was, it was impossible. I just like also wanted to try the thing with like having a guest. I think it would be better if it was on camera and a guest that I actually liked. I'm just kidding. I like Sarah. It was good, and but it was like not produced. It was too like. I wish it was something more, And there were some good bits in there and definitely good stuff, as there always is with anything. There's good and bad, but yeah, I don't know. Like maybe a living room setup, like the Logan Paul. What's Logan Paul's show? Like just something more casual or something where I'm feeding off. Because it's so hard for me to listen to someone else and not, think about when it's my turn to speak. I got to improve that skill to listen to what they're saying. They're idiots sometimes, and it's hard, but sometimes people aren't, and you get confused, and you need to listen. Like if Christopher Hitchens was across from me right now, I'd want to listen to what he has to say. Or Greta Thunberg, or what's his name that survived the Parkland shooting? David Hogg. Those brilliant young people. I'd have to stop talking, listen to all the substance that they have, because they're the future. Merrick Garland, the Trump raid. It's never happened before with any president in the entire fucking United States history. You've never had to, oh, by the way, he was president, we couldn't do anything. Now he's not president. Let's really get in there and make sure this January 6th thing is legit. What? Never mind the fact that he survived the impeachment process and the Insurrection Act, not citing the insurrection. They had everything lined up for them. everything. The house is all set up, ready to go, but they couldn't really convict him on the insurrection. But he must have papers. It's called the Presidential Documents Act or something. Presidential something. Basically, you have to give all your like formal documents. You can't keep the classified. You can't keep anything for yourself. They have to be like in the archival records. Tons of people have violated this rule. Obama, Bush, but we don't hear about them being prosecuted as a crime. We don't hear about the FBI raiding their house. This is unprecedented times. This is very dark shit. It's just dark shit. It's like Bill and Hillary Clinton took $28,000 worth of shit from the White House when they left. Obama spent $36 million in his last year fighting Freedom of the Information Act filings to get like legitimate stuff that was deserved to be shown and opened up to the public. And his administration later said after the fact that they should have done that. But Trump's done what? Well, it's speculative. We don't know. Let it play out. But if he's prosecuted for withholding classified documents or duplicates or something as a crime when others have done in the past and it's just been a transfer of documentation, if he's charged with something, the duplicitous nature and the one-sided austerity is so partisan. I don't know how it doesn't unite the country and make people want to vote for Trump even more. Apparently, the polls, and we don't agree with the polls on the one side where they say Biden's the best president of all time, and then we have polls on the other side of that at the same time that say lowest approval rating of all time. Right? There's two different things. But then there's the Trump stuff that says he's crushing DeSantis. I don't know if that's completely true. I know Trump has way more money behind him than DeSantis, perhaps, potentially. There's a lot of like bifurcation in the Republican Party of all this money kind of being diversified. Trump has a strong base. Maybe the Mercer family are pumping that shit up. I don't know. But it's just, it better be something good. This country is so fucked up right now. The more and more like crazy shit they're doing. You got like Nancy Pelosi talking from goddamn Taiwan about how China is amazing. It's like the best. It's one of the freest countries in the world. Look at this shit.
It was only about saying China is one of the freest societies in the world. Don't take it from me. That's from Freedom House.
Let's talk a little bit.
Democracy, courageous people, and it's just. I don't know why it is, except there's some commercial interests who would like to diminish the relationship.
I mean, who is she talking to? It's as if this is one of the interesting things about Google and the fact that it was a DoD CIA project. What if one of the precepts was not just to have information before it happens or direct people to choose different things or be subservient based on the limited information or controlled information they have? What if it was to create realities that didn't exist yet? Do you see what I mean? Like China's our friend. The movie industry in the United States is one of our strongest export. We're making all these stupid fucking superhero movies. It's ruining cinema for everyone. Scorsese's talked about it. We're doing it for China. They have a bigger market for movies in the United States. It's surpassed our market. And oh man, the fucking like the wokeism is brutal. The goddamn Predator movie that came out, Prey. The fucking like Indian girl who almost gets killed by a bear in the beginning, but then somehow she like beats the predator. I didn't see it. I just know that's what happens. She doesn't die and get her head cut off or get like sodomized by one of the giant predators at 6'9" that destroyed a bunch of Navy SEALs when Schwarzenegger and his team went against them back in the jungle. And was it 1991 Predator came out? 88? No, she beats them all with her bow and arrow. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's something out there in them trees. I love that. Was a guy like in Predator, the first one? He's like, I'm gonna cut your name into. I'm gonna cut your name. And then the girl is like, we know it when it gets hot. The Diablo de la Muerte, blah, 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 blah. It's like something like the devil of death or something. And like that little girl, she beats the Predator. Like No women. There aren't a group of girls that drink Chardonnay after work that then decide, hey, you know what would be great if we have a viewing party after Pilates and watch Prey about the fucking Predator. That's what we want to watch. What is that endearing other than like a propagandic proselytization of like women being the workforce and being kick ass? Kick ass. Do you know how lonely those bitches are? There's a reason why they're like I met a woman who's 37 years old, head of managing director of one of the top consulting companies in the United States. You know the big three: BCG, McKinsey, and another one. She's one like the head of the office managing. She's a partner and a managing director of one of the primary offices of a primary big city in the United States. Single. What do you think she's looking for? What do you think she wants at this point in her life right now? Why is she available? I know she's available. She's single and she's never married, and she's probably not, fulfilled. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this is like, I'm not going down the whole rabbit hole about just women and like blah, blah, blah. I think in general, women that don't have kids, that just work and like give up like love and like early marriage or something, there is a regret there. And then having the money and being by themselves while the looks fade and their kind of like reciprocity in terms of just like public image towards people is more of an acquaintance level thing where it's just parties and like benefits and fundraisers. It's stoic and dark and there's no true connection. Like if you hit on this girl, I'm constantly flirtatious with women. This is the way I am. Doesn't matter what's happening in my life. I'm just a flirtatious person. It's so off-putting to these people because it's like they're like asexual, but it's actually not that they want to be, particularly the women. It's like they're so engineered into something that's fake. I want to have adventures and go kayaking on the river with my husband and like take a paper mache class together. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you don't. You don't. That's what society is telling you is the ideal for you. Someone that balances your hyper work ethic with like a very active, like together partnership. No, you want to get railed by a guy who throws you up against the wall and dominates you and takes care of you. Your feelings, takes care of you for a change, not some synergy like co-partnership. Hey, let's go build like fucking foundations for houses as a Habitat for Humanity. I've gone on a huge tangent, I know, but like that's not what they want. So yeah, like the whole like this China's our friend, fat acceptance. They're fucking us up, man. There's a whole part of the United States government. Who knows? Like I can't talk. I'm at their house. I can't say anything. They've given me this room. It's very, very nice. It's like a suite, and it's like, I could show you, just like turn the thing around. But then it's fucked. It's like a TV here. You got a wet bar. You got into the bedroom. You got a foyer. Then you got like a balcony. It's lovely. It's lovely. I can't talk badly about them though. But it's almost like if the United States is like a demographic of people. And there's enormous leverage in terms of like printing of money. We print our own fiat, our own currency, obviously the US dollar, and we can control policy. And we still basically run the United Nations. It's enormously powerful, even if we fall second to China in industry, technology, blah blah blah. So it's almost like what's easier to control: a bunch of Elon Musk industrialists and entrepreneurs, or raising the tax rate to 50%, making it impossible for anyone to become a billionaire. And basically, pre-Soviet Union, 1987, 88, something like that, right? Like, or pre-fall of Soviet Union, right? When the oligarchs took power. Like, that's what seems to be happening. Assets are scarce. We're making digital assets. We're creating ESG, which is like a fake industry vertical. But like, more than that, it's like the acceptance of mediocrity is like an all-time high. I watched this video of this fucking guy today, like hopping along. He's like a pole vaulter with one leg, and it just made me so frustrated. I should be like inspired by the video. It's just like every fucking thing I see about like how Lizzo is the hottest girl ever or something like that. It's like, or like trans acceptance or whatever the fuck. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, it's just like, it numbs me. It's so amazing to be disabled. It's so amazing not to have ability or to be smarter than other people. It's so amazing just to be like mediocre. Embrace it. That's who you are. And it's the most superficial thing, these like California was abolishing grades, for students that were like rambunctious in the poorest areas of like in terms of like testing. They're just going to abolish grades completely. Just get rid of them, so like the teachers don't get fired. They pushed it, the teachers union and everything, and then large amounts of like private money. Who knows where that came from? Yeah, fuck grades. Also, the kids didn't get in trouble for cheating anymore. Cheating, the accusation of cheating or the association of cheating is racist. What? Is like some part of California school, a bunch of counties. The second or first largest county for public schools in California. I was thinking about this for elementary, high school, and so on. I don't know if they did it, but I think they did. I talked about it like a year ago. This whole like the Soros article in the Wall Street Journal about like how black people are more targeted than white people, it is without facts or anything to substantiate these things. Yes, there's racism. Yes, cops can be, but like the facts are very like it skews this stuff into a different perception where you're like, Jesus, everything we see on TV about like systemic racism just isn't accurate at all. Like why is someone trying to destroy the fabric of this country, or particularly nationalize the police force, something George Soros has wanted to do for a long time? And I read his Wall Street Journal op-ed. I'm like, Jesus, man. Who is it not calling this? He has no quotes and the whole fucking no references. He's like, I'm a billionaire, I can do whatever I want. But it's like the crime rates are higher than ever before. People are getting murdered in the street. I talked about this on my podcast like a year ago when it was video. There's a University of Chicago student, a kid. It was like, University of Chicago is a hard fucking school to get into. I went to Georgetown. It's like, I'd say they are close to that level. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's not Harvard, it's not Yale, it's not Princeton. Georgetown's very, very hard to get into. Particularly because its scholastic aptitude based on Kaplan is the same as Yale, but also because like you're talking about, you have a school by the river, by like the Potomac River. It's gorgeous. All the streets are like English. It's Georgetown, King George's town. It's gorgeous. Who wouldn't, like, right outside of the gates of the school? You're not in the ghetto like New Haven. You're in the fucking like richest part of DC, more or less, Colorado too. But it's like, God, like it's an amazing school, and. Why the fuck did I mention that? Why was I talking about Georgetown? You're a Chicago. Yeah, you're a Chicago kid. Bright kid. Sitting on a bus, on like a subway thing, and then he gets shot like through the neck in a way that like paralyzes him. He wakes up in the hospital. He said what happened to his parents. They know he's like barely he's gonna be either paraplegic or like, I don't know. He's just fucked. So he's just like, kill me. And they do. Like but then Beetlejuice is just like, you know what? That's shit happens. Fuck them, shit happens. Just, hey, so many black deaths by police, one white kid, what's the big deal? I don't think he was white. I think he was like Native American and Asian. He was a credible mix, an intersectional fucking car crash there in terms of like blame or liability. God, that bitch is just awful. I hate that girl. God, it's the scary thing. The scary thing is, I think DeSantis is a great running mate to run against a Biden. I think that's fine. I think he'll do similar things to Trump. The fucked up thing is, what if Biden wins again, regardless if it's Trump or DeSantis? Well, it shows you the power of social media, like the idea that we're not voting for someone, we're voting against someone because they're fascist. A bunch of kids. This is the other part of it. A bunch of kids who like are people in general that are just disenfranchised, poor, uneducated, or like, they're less. This is why they push the mediocrity. I'm not as good looking. I'm mid or below. Hi, Red Scare Girls. I don't make a lot of money. I take government subsidies, which, by the way, are like heroin. You never get off them. When I was looking at Section 8 housing, not looking at it, but I was looking at housing in Capitol Hill area at one point in time, and they said no Section 8 vouchers. I said, what is Section 8? And she explained to me that 97% of people that get on Section 8 housing never get off. It's like heroin. Why would you if you don't have to? I don't like, that's fine. It's a terrible idea. It should be like the process should be leaning you out. Like, okay, you're improving, show some pay stubs, everything's improving. If they're not improving, then like you're going to get docked, which forces you to start looking for more jobs. The harder you work in that regard to offset the losses in terms of your Section 8 the subsidies, it gets better. That's what it should be. Not a handout like in perpetuity, but like a leg up to get you up steps. It's a danger of the welfare system. Not that welfare's wrong. It's just like it's the way it's like it's run by people who are like, fuck, you know what I mean? I would want free money for the rest of my life. Why would I fuck these people over? Also, it's like a subscription to Netflix. Why would we lower our content? We should give them the maximum content forever, because then we have a higher likelihood of keeping subscribers and maintaining that growth. Same concept with a drug dealer. Same concept with maintenance therapy for heroin, giving people methadone. Why would we not give people the drug that they want, but in a safer place? It's guaranteed. They're not going to die. I'm regulating it, and they're on the thing that makes them feel like not sick or better and are high. It's a derivative or analog. It's brilliant business policy for like saying you're helping people, but not best for young people that are struggling with addiction, I don't think. So yeah, this whole fucking thing it's falling apart by the wayside. But what did Trump really do? Did you think he was working with this guy? You think that was his Navy SEAL like tactical team to overthrow the government? By the way, what are you overthrowing going into Congress? Nothing. What do you attempt to accomplish in that regard with those people particularly? Nothing. The only way to accomplish what he was doing and overturn the votes is through the legal system, through like legislative rulings and also lawsuits, which he did. So this whole precept that this was a plan orchestrated by Trump in any way, nonsense. The rally itself was sufficient. What happened after did nothing for Trump. So I don't quite understand that. There also seems to be a lot of potential bad actors that were trying to incite violence or encourage people to raid the Capitol, getting like good people that didn't even know it was wrong to be part of it, and inadvertently getting felonies or going to jail in the feds for 3 years as if they've trafficked cocaine or something, or it's just it's like, what? Like, I've never done anything wrong in my life. Yeah, but you went to the Capitol building, so you're a felon now. Fuck you. Which also is another deterrent for Trump and Trumpism and nationalism in general. It's like, hey, you know what? You better be careful. If you do this thing, you follow this group, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a psychotic, crazy person. Forget Trump. Just like anything that's not woke, progressive, or not Hillary, not Nancy, not pro-Chuck, Schumer, not like part of the Biden Kamala Harris nonsense. My God, have you ever heard that woman speak? Just like, how can you vote for that? There.
That is especially true when it comes to the climate crisis, which is why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on to galvanize global action. With that, I thank you all. This is a matter of urgent priority for all of us, and I know we will work on this together.
Brutal. Like she's like, on paper it looked bad with the California throwing black and innocent minorities into jail for like small offenses like marijuana, by the way. But in real life, oh my God, it's like she just can't handle it. She's a terrible politician. She should have married Montel. Was it Montel Jordan or Montel Williams? Montel Jordan. The party's here on the west side, so I'll reach for my shorty when I pull it up. That's Jordan. It's gonna be Montel Williams. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, the marijuana thing. That's what the feds should be working on, is freeing the thousands of offenders for like nonviolent marijuana charges that are in jail right now, instead of just focusing on Britney Griner because she's a basketball player and a lesbian. It's just in black. I was like, the trifecta of amazing. It's like competent in something, that you're famous, you're a lesbian, you're black. Oh my God, we have to get you out of jail. But fuck, what other people are in jail right now? Fuck them. No one knows who they are. They don't play in the WNBA, the greatest league of all time. Like, Jesus Christ, man. This guy was talking about on YouTube the other day. It's like, do you think the WNBA players or like women athletes should play topless? Do you think that, like, fuck, that's misogynistic. By the way, misogynistic and chauvinist, stop mixing those, okay? You like titties, that doesn't mean you hate women. That's insane. That's like a woman who loves cock but just hates men. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, I guess it's like lesbians in a way with the strap-ons. But that could just be an oblong object. They could say like they like zucchini. It doesn't have to be a dick, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. It's like, that's not the thing. Hate. There are serial killers that would like Buffalo Bill skinning women alive. He didn't hate them. He just wanted to wear them. If anything, that's like mnemonic. It's like, oh, you know, I want to mimetic. I want to be you. That's the greatest thing. I'm sorry you die, but you're the right size for me, and like I adore you, and I turn you into a lampshade. You know, that type of thing. You know, it's like, it's confusing. It's like chauvinism. It just doesn't have the same. Oh, it's evil, patriarchy, blah blah blah. And the other thing I have to swear to God that people just never understand on the left, and this is what it is. It's getting. I don't think I touched on this point specifically. You give power to people that have nothing. Average IQ, minority. I'm not saying minorities have average. I'm saying something like, just to throw these people in a group. Average IQ people, minorities in terms of just like sexual orientation, skin color, otherwise. You throw them all into a melting pot and say you're amazing just because of those things. Not average IQ, obviously they embrace that, but like maybe like you're trans, you're black, and that's the best thing about you. You're black and you're in law school, even though your LSATs were garbage and you don't try very hard and whatever. Not because you're black, just saying you might be in that group, or you're struggling with finances or whatever. Probably because you're not working hard enough. It has nothing to do with your intelligence. Keep going. You know, it's a failure, and then you're successful. That's the whole point of life. It's like, oh shit, life sucks. But you give up, you're guaranteed not to get success. But the whole thing is like, you fail until you do it. But you give these people power, like you are. Like Saul Alinsky, you, and Rules for Radicals, the book that Hillary did her thesis on in school, you are amazing. The reason why you're not doing better is because of your skin color and these evil people over here. And they're like, yeah. And they start voting a certain way. It has nothing to do with anything else. That's what it is. It's frightening. And do you think even if they know that it's bullshit, like there's a trans, maybe autogenophile woman named Charlotte Clymer on Twitter, who sometimes dresses more like a man, it switches back and forth, very fluid, whatever. If she knows like that what she's doing, and she's become, you know, has a career now based on her like activism. If she knows some of the stuff she says is bullshit, it's like my gay friends who are like, yeah, we kind of know some of this shit's crazy. Some of my gay friends don't even think lesbians are real, but like they it's like, well, we have one more letter. This makes the whole thing. We're just stronger that way, you know, as a unit. Queerdom might just be people that fucking like use Windows XP still. You know, that it'll just take everything, never just sex, everything. The bifurcation of like transableism versus transgenderism is a great thing. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with gender, wanting to like cut off your eye or remove your eyes or cut off your hand. Like, it doesn't. It doesn't have to do with gender, but transgender, cutting off an appendage you think you're not supposed to have, nothing to do with it, as Matt Walsh talks about in his show. See?
I don't know if you've ever heard of people in the trans-abled community. These are people who are physically able-bodied but feel like they should be disabled or identify as such. For example, a man who has two arms but feels like he should have one. If a man in this kind of marginalized community went to the doctor and said, I want to have my arm cut off, do you think that...
That doesn't have anything to do with gender identity.
Well, it's someone's self-identity, how someone identifies.
That's someone who has and I'll accept it as a mental diagnosis, a psychiatric condition. I don't even pretend to know what aptomenophilia is all about, but somehow it's the idea that you're fascinated or charmed by having a limb or part of a limb missing. Okay, I would say that's, pardon my non-medical language, kooky.
You don't see any? You think this is totally irrelevant?
Yep.
See, that's the protection. It's like, oh, it's not mental illness because it's sex. Everything that's sex is good. John Money and, you know, the sexual queer theory, which is, dude, like, I have tons of gay friends. I am totally accepting of my gay friends, even the lesbians. The transgender ones, I'm more concerned about the more I've read, just because of like gender theory and children, and like there's like this stuff that I've heard. There's a kid online trying to give kids are thinking about transitioning hormone pills. He's been trying to do this for months on Instagram, and like the feds haven't. There was like a steroid guy that just got taken down in Washington D.C. And I know the guy, or I knew the pharmacy place. I've debated because I'm getting older, going on TRT or something like that. But I Still can charge a good amount for the gun show. But like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like that guy goes down. Testosterone, not oxy or something. Testosterone. This kid is selling hormones to minors. Kid, it's an adult, but like, like it's hard when you become more feminine as a male because you're on hormones. It's kind of like you kind of just look like a like Juno, pre transition or post transition. Still like a kid, like a little boy. But he's like 24 and PhD, and it's giving like through the mail extra hormones, the residuals from their prescriptions, and has a whole syndicate of people doing this. It's like, hey, do you want to? And so now parents have to worry about like their kids getting fucking hormones through a fucking system, like Instagram. It's insane. Like there's just too much. Once your kid knows about Telegram or like Wickr or whatever, it's like I give up, man. What the fuck? You want to be a girl? You want to do that? Go for it. Go for it. Have your monkeypox when you get fucked in the ass, and you'll be crawling back to me with those legions like, it hurts. I'm like, yeah. If you just went the pussy route, it would be better. I'm not saying you don't have to be gay, but like you went too far too quickly and you thought you knew everything. Should have strapped that thing up, man. Wrap some saran wrap around that motherfucker. Now you got the monkeypox. Maybe you might have a scar from it. Yeah, you fucked. That's a rough man. Like being so horny as a guy and another guy being horny, that is hard because it's like. So one of the things I took, Gonadine, it made me so horny. Oh my god, I felt like I felt hornier than I ever was in my entire life. It raised my free test. I don't even want to know. I might take a little today because I'm doing my legs after this. And I was hornier. And I went to a couple parties at UT. A funny thing, UT had a lockdown for all frat parties. The one weekend I was there when I was a university guy, and so I was like, oh, I want to see the Daisy Dukes, and like I want to see like steal a quarterback's girlfriend or something, whatever. What I was thinking, I probably couldn't. I was dorky as fuck. But I ended up going to a gay party inadvertently, or there's like gay guys there, and they were just going into the bathroom and blowing each other. Pretty sure, and then leaving. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Nothing like that happens for heterosexual men. That's a great thing. So if you're that horny, and like your other. Like your target is that horny, it's hard. Like you could have like the Ebola virus and be like, fuck it. Like you're just so horny. And it's one of the things I thought when I was on that drug, and it makes me wonder about testosterone. I hear the horniness goes away and it becomes baseline, but I was like, dude, I can't think about anything else right now. I was just like looking at apps, and then I was like downloading like crazy. I was like, this is just insane. How long? It's been 2 hours. Jesus, it's like it was so unproductive, and I was just like, and then like then the estrogen went to like I know it did because then all of a sudden I couldn't nothing. And I'm like, but I'm like, but I can't. What a fucking cock tease, legitimately. So yeah, the gay guys, it's a blessing and a curse, especially with a disease like this coming about. You gotta, careful, wrap it up. I care about my gay friends. Be careful in that regard. But yeah, the transgender thing. The more I read about it, the more I read about gender theory, the more concerned I am about like the politicalization of it, and particularly with children, and having like assholes like this not prosecuted by the DEA immediately. That's fucked up. But the whole idea of transhumanism and other stuff the Illuminati talk about, really into, this might be a precursor. You can be anything you want. You can be a fucking like a dog. See these cops, the bobbies with the dog. It's like a cop with the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. How is that even allowed? Is that PC? Like BDSM in public with a police officer? Isn't that a little sexual? That's the other thing. How is the trans species idea with leather and like a mouth with a zipper? How is that sexualized, especially with dogs and Doggy Style and 69? Speaking of which, Elon Musk has purchased or sold $6.9 billion worth of Tesla. And you look at those charts, by the way, I would, guys, start selling a little bit. Start going short, go index short. as a hedge, I see some nasty October 2018 shit on the horizon. I just look at the charts. Not saying I'm a chartist, that's, amateur. But what I am saying is the inflation curve for August might be 15%. Housing is definitely slowing, so are metals and other things. You start to combine them, and then you look at the chart, the similarities therein. It seems like the last surge might be a precursor to the next dip. That's the way it works. It's like a step ladder. It's like, but going in reverse. And it's like, oh, we're up again. Nope, now we're down further than we were before. And that's always the question in the market is like, where's the bottom? Don't worry about it. Just know that there's no fucking way that this is the bottom and that we're good. I go off topic a lot because of attention deficit. I'm not going to call it a disorder. I'm going to call it like attention deficit gift. Attention deficit gift. That's what it is. Disorder is so fucked up. It's like saying trans is a disorder. So I'm not going to do that because you guys don't. So no, it's trans. I'm not going to say trans gift because I disagree wholeheartedly. I think it seems like a fucking nightmare. But ADD gift or ADD savant. Yeah, sure. That's me. Yeah, the Britney Griner thing. Like, we got to get people out of jail for that shit. I don't think that minors should take THC. I think there's an inhibition of frontal lobe brain cell development and mitochondrial development. There's problems. I think too many people smoke pot, and I know people that are high functioning that do drugs and it's fine. But like the pot thing, some people like they get off work, they get high, and they do it again and again. And again. I'm like. And the people that quit are kind of like, because I just don't remember like everything blended in together. Like I felt like I lost 5 years of my life like doing nothing, and I kind of want to be more productive, like read a book or learn something. I also don't know how I wouldn't get super fat. I'm a narcissist. Because of my dad, I inherited the narcissist, so I have to relate everything back to myself. I don't know how I wouldn't get super like orca fat. Like I think I'd get so fat that I wouldn't walk anymore. I'd just tumble out of my apartment like a hedgehog. Kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, that. Or like if I was a ball boy in tennis, I'd stop in the middle of the match, sit down and pull candy, like chocolate bars out of my pocket and start eating them. And like crying, but also smiling. So it's just like good too, the sugar. Yeah, man, you got to pick and choose. I don't agree with the drug that makes everything taste so good that if someone were to ask you for restaurant recommendations, you were just fucking them over. Like that's just what you want to do. Go at 2:00 in the morning. This food truck is still open and operating. You want to go down to 6th Street, go into the alleyway. The lettuce is burnt, but it's good. It's good. And you guys all know that when lettuce is burnt in like a hoagie or something, when they cook the thing together with the lettuce and it burns, they're like grilling the lettuce, that's not good. But they do it. And it's like when you're high, you're like, this is fucking amazing. But it's not. You fucking know it's not. It's not good. But you can't give someone a recommendation. How many people have ruined their nights by a friend who's like, dude, you gotta try the falafel at Benihana's off menu. It's the best, but they don't have it on the menu because why? Like they're not good at making it. They don't want to make it. But if you ask them and you've paid for dinner, they're like forced to. But maybe they want to make it bad so you stop eating it again, and so they like hate you. Maybe they spit in it. But it's good, dude. Yeah, man. No, I actually knew a bunch of French restaurants in Washington D.C. I didn't know a bunch of French restaurants, I should say. What am I saying? There are no French restaurants in DC that do souffle. Marcel's, Citronelle didn't do souffle, but Morton's in Georgetown did for a long time. Raspberry souffle, I think, is one particular thing. It was amazing. Souffle is impossible. Souffle is like making a cake but fucking up on purpose. It's very complicated. It's like theoretical physics. It's very hard. But yeah, the whole fat thing. A lot of it also is perpetualizing like media channels. I don't know what it is, but if like a bunch of fat women want to feel good about themselves and not exercise, will they sign up for subscriptions to a fat woman that's like could be beautiful, like gorgeous if she lost some weight, but she's just chooses not to, and so those fat people leech onto her, and it's kind of like a reciprocation, so they pay for the sub. Is that really a thing? Something makes me think that some of these like people like that somehow get famous are like part of a system that they're invested in by people that are losing money on purpose to make them famous for pushing this ideology, but it wouldn't exist otherwise. Like naturally, people wouldn't sign up for that. Like I find like hard to like if I didn't know how to talk to women and I saw a guy that was like a master, like what do you call it? Like what was the guy like the flirt expert or the Mac, like someone like that. But he's like 5'8". He's kind of awkward looking, and maybe he has lots of like earrings on his face. I think that was actually the guy that did it. It's like the dating, something about like how to like flirt with women. And he was like a master. But I'm like, there's so many women I know that just based off of like all the tattoos you have and the earrings and your height, you would be excluded immediately. So I am impressed that you do the thing that you do, but I'm not sure that it applies to everyone. And I wouldn't sign up for your like service to learn what you do because I don't look like you at all, and your game's too different. So I don't know. Maybe drink more coffee. I feel like I'm losing it. It's been my first time on camera for a while. 40 minutes. Okay, hold on. Yeah, fat acceptance. They want China to win. They want China to win. A Nebraska woman has been charged in aiding her daughter in getting an abortion by shooting her in the fucking head. 2 birds. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good one. I saw a story about a gay couple. I'm not trying to go homophobic, and I know I have to read. I have gay friends. Alexander the Great was a fag. I'm just kidding. But it's true. I think there's something there. Definitely something there. And actually, I think it has to do with like, to be honest with you, it might be that like there's a study done that I read recently that there was a high sample size, over like 2,500 gay men versus a control group of like heterosexual men of the same, like 2,500. And the DHT level difference was remarkable. Not testosterone. The gay guys that were jacked just as much as the other ones, but the dihydrotestosterone was much lower. And it makes me think that the dihydrotestosterone also affects progesterone in the brain, and there might be something there in terms of that natural predisposition, or also it is somewhat nature, like just your dihydrotestosterone levels, also the plastics. So that's another thing that the like bisphenol A and like all the plastics that are estrogenic, like culling a group of like future men from like becoming kick-ass and dominant. They want us all to become women because that way they get to control everything more. It's another thing about like the people don't understand. It's like, hey, yeah, fuck the patriarchy, but you don't fuck the patriarchy by whining, and you don't fuck the patriarchy by taking their money to push your like, lesbian agenda. You fuck them by beating them, but you can't. Because you wouldn't have the money and you would have done it already. So, it's kind of like, hey, you just want the power of them giving you a little bit, but controlling your revolution, which is just for the sake of social engineering, really. We're going to give you a platform and people will start to agree, and then they'll all vote a certain way, and that's really what we want. So you go knock yourselves out, enjoy scissoring each other. That's really, really what it is. Nothing more. It's sad because people don't see that. They're so eager for acceptance. When you walk down the street, you see a person, this girl, it's like she wishes that the guys who are walking by her gave her attention or something like that. It's the same fucking idea. It's like that girl is a perfect candidate for our system of overthrowing the United States and destroying democracy. We get her to believe in us and give her love and acceptance. We have everything we need to dominate. That's the fucked up thing. They don't care about your like sexual orientation or your skin color. They care that it helps get them votes. They don't give a fuck about racism or anything. It's a means to an end. Like why would you have like a bunch of immigrants come in one year that are unskilled, and then another year have an unlimited amount come in that usurp the last group of immigrants, and there's not enough jobs, and they're fighting over each other, and they're not skilled enough in labor, but they're also at the same time getting subsidies from the government, voting a certain way, keeping a group subservient, not helping them really, getting them educated or improving or creating a line for entry that's uniform and controlled in some way, right? It's basically just outsourcing votes, which, you know, it's disgusting. Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, Alex Jones was ordered to pay 4.1 million to the parents of a child killed at Sandy Hook, plus a staggering 45 million in punitive damages. This is only the first of such trials. However, this is just lawyers being lawyers and doing what they have to do is maximize the punitive damages, which is, you know, fine. But I think there's a cap in Texas, so it's 700,000. So Alex should be okay, and I think his, I don't know if it's Alex Jones the individual or InfoWars specifically. I think it's Alex Jones, but his money might be tied in. You see what I mean? Like it's there's ways for him to protect himself, even the 700,000. I think he'll be fine. What else? Estee Lauder, the beauty behemoth, just acquired Tom Ford for $3 billion. Congratulations, Tom, on cashing out as if you needed it. Don't you have like a $150 million ranch house, or like $137 million, I think it was, in New Mexico? For anyone to buy the house like that, you already are a billionaire. $3 billion seems low. Everyone, you know, yeah, I don't rock Molly, I rock Tom Ford. International, bring back the So, you know, it's just like that seems to be like a 10, at least a 10. But I don't know the cash. I haven't looked at them specifically. I don't know. I don't look at fashion for investments. It's too, I don't know. I have so much stuff I'm doing. It's too much, you know. It's like, I don't really think that like Kohl's might return to form, like 1995 form or some shit. Like doesn't need like a growth position for me. Google and Sonos are fighting each other. Sonos is the original like Bluetooth connected sound system, and Google, rather than paying royalties to Sonos, has like turned off and downgraded some of their items. So like the volume bar that was like automatic, you could do like from a controller, from like an app on your phone, they now force you to like toggle it yourself. They like sent an update to their own devices. It's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know what's happening, man. All I know is it's a beautiful view. Man, I wish you could see this. Green fields. Lush gardens, purple mountains, magnificent. Yeah, I think I love the artwork too. It's very Illuminati. I think I don't know what I think. I don't know. I don't know. I want to go to the gym now. Maybe do stand up again for the first time in a while tonight. Go do that somewhere. I'll talk to you guys later. DWA out. Go to deploir.com for DWA merch. Also, you can do it on the Instagram. DWA clips. I'm starting to add like more content from other people. That's stuff that I finally think is funny and like bring it together. So stay fabulous. Benben out. Bye.